Hello and welcome back to Sports News. Right now I'm joined by Dr. Marcia Schaefer of Spring Creek Chiropractic. Thank you for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Something we're going to talk about, very important, chiropractic care for young athletes. Can you tell us why should younger athletes, student athletes, use a chiropractor?
Well, a lot of kids are starting sports a lot younger. I have a 4-year-old who's just starting t-ball. And chiropractic care, our entire mission is to help with that spine and nervous system. And I mean, look at the pros. We have pros have chiropractors, and they're obviously starting at young ages. Mm-hmm. So we get to make sure that during that really, really important developmental time, we get to work with those kids and make sure that their spines and nervous systems are functioning for better performance.
And as you said, tying that into better performance, what is some of the research or things you found behind the benefits of chiropractic care for youth athletes?
One of the studies was showing with baseball players. They were actually showing capillary refill. So when you squeeze the finger and the capillary refill comes back, that was actually significantly better in the kids that were under chiropractic care. Another showed reaction time was 30% faster in kids under 12 weeks of chiropractic care. So obviously form and function, they're just improving and they're making their sports that much better.
It's very interesting that stuff kind of ties together. With some of the injuries you see, what are more of the common injuries that you'd see in young student athletes?
Well, it's really interesting, the contact versus non-contact. Overall, majority we're seeing mid-neck, and that's going to be a whiplash, so your football, your hockey, that kind of stuff. But then we see a lot of things in the low back and pelvis as well. Soccer, if you're falling, or in gymnastics, any of those other sports, it can also cause a lot of those problems too.
And as you mentioned, it's not just the contact sports that are injuring students, it's kind of all around the board depending on what's needed and what gets hit and what gets hurt. What sports are maybe more dangerous to some of the parents watching, and what can really be injured from those sports?
Well, football, hockey, and wrestling are 3 of our major contact sports that I see the most pediatric or most athletes with. But also swimming, dance, and gymnastics. Surprisingly enough, we're seeing a lot of injuries and sprains. I mean, ankles and shoulders, they need adjustments too, not just the spine.
Interesting. Some of those you wouldn't even think of either. And you mentioned we're starting athletics younger and younger with our kids. What age could you or another chiropractor start working on these athletes?
Oh, I see infants a couple hours old. So we start from the very beginning, and I'd love to see them through their sport years.
Fantastic. Dr. Marcia Schaefer, we want to thank you very much for coming in and giving us some great insight on how we can take care of our student athletes better.
Thank you.
Dr. Marcia Schaefer, Spring Creek Chiropractic. We'll be right back with more of the sports news right after this.